as I was saying, a lot of the buzz around your brand success has been from the creative outputs and especially on social media. But as far as I can see, it's the process with which the brand generates its insights that's really the superpower. What does that process look like behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for recognizing that, because I do think that we talk a lot about creative, and the creative would be nowhere without the insight that drives the creative.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
I really believe as somebody who, in my past life was more of a strategist, not necessarily in marketing, but just strategy in general, business strategy. I believe that the work that we do has to be grounded in insights and strategy in order to be actually able to effectively move the business. For me, I often say, and my team will confirm this, that the question I always ask is why. I'm a big why or why not or kind of person.
Yes.
Where when we're talking about what's happening, I care almost less about what's actually happening. I care about why it's happening.
Yes.
Or why it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, insight is just sort of like very inherent to kind of who I am and how I lead. I do think that I have had the privilege of growing up in an industry prior to the role that I'm in now. I spent over a decade in retail. And in retail, you spend a lot of time out in stores. And the goal to be out in stores for many people, it's, you want to see what the reality is of the world. You don't want to sort of like be at ivory tower or like making things up.
Of course.
But also you get to talk to people. You talk to real people who are engaging with your brand, engaging with your business, engaging with your product, and you start to understand them at a level that is oftentimes very hard to do from your office or reading a deck or, all of these things, or frankly, even in a focus group. You're seeing people in the real world and what they really think. When I left retail to come into this role 7 years ago, I missed that. I craved that connection to, the end of the value chain. To me, the consumer, the audience, they're the end of the value chain. And you really want to understand like what makes them tick. The closest thing that I could find was social media. And I know we talk a lot about social media as being sort of, it's a platform, it's for advertising, marketing, all of these things. To me, number one, it's an insights engine.
Love it.
Because for me, when I see people and what they put out there in social media, how they talk about things, I learned so much about what people think unvarnished, unfiltered, where it's become sort of like this 24/7, 365 focus group, I suppose, where you're getting this direct line to people, and then you start to pick up the dots. You spoke earlier about speed. I've been thinking a lot lately about how speed absolutely can be a superpower and it can be a competitive advantage, but sometimes the best things come slowly and they come over time. And for me, that's been things like noticing trends happening as I observe and draw insights out of my social media listening and observation. And one of those things, for example, one of our most popular product lines is in body care. And I know a lot of people think of us as like a lip care company or maybe shave based on, the viral campaign. But actually, body care has been the thing that's completely taken over for us as a brand. And when we first launched our product, we launched it as, hey, we're doing what everybody else is doing. We're going to do 24-hour moisture and, safe for sensitive skin and, with XYZ ingredients. Is very, very performance driven and problem solution driven. What we started to see, and it took a while because you're trying to pick up the little nuggets and the kernels and the breadcrumbs as well. What we started to see was that what people actually really loved about it was how it made them feel attractive. And they didn't just say, oh, this lotion, this EOS lotion makes me feel attractive. What they said, of course, in their own words was, that lotion got me pregnant.
I was going to bring this up if you didn't.
Yeah. Oh. And I know that lotion will get you flipped like a pancake.
Oh my God.
And these were like, women who were talking about like how much their partner loved how their skin felt, how their skin smelled when they were using our products. And so, of course, that took time. We picked up this trail over time, and that insight was so valuable to us. That insight that, okay, the category looks one way, but there's this hidden insight about why consumers are buying, who love our brand, and what ultimately drives their purchase decisions and their affinity and their loyalty is how it makes them feel. And it makes them feel attractive. And they love how they feel when they feel that way and when they're attractive
Yes.
to their partner. And so then we would create an entire campaign where literally we said, you know what, we can't tell this story any better than they can. So we licensed all their words. We went back and we
That's
found
so
all of the words. We
awesome.
licensed all their words, and then we created an ad campaign just repeating their words. Like, this lotion got me pregnant. And there's no better and more truthful and more insightful storyline than what we had heard from our community.